As we pick up action between the Sharyland Rattlers and the Weslaco East, the Lady Wildcats and the Lady Rattlers. Wildcats with a 1-0 lead, and they'll serve as we we pick up coverage here, a 1-1 game. Now a 2-1 lead for the Wildcats. Serve away. Lady Rattlers will look to return it, but then they blow the play dead. And now we resume play. Serve over, a good one, played by the Lady Rattlers. Ball back over on the Sharyland side. Up at the net. Finally over on the now a 2-2 game. Working out some audio issues here on the fly. And I think we got the audio issues all taken care of. 3-2 game with Weslaco East on top, taking on the Sharyland Rattlers here. Lady Wildcats to serve it up. Both of these teams were in the same pool yesterday. But the way they were using these courts is the first place teams in each of their pools stayed on the court that they were on, or in the gym they were in. And then second place on through rotated one court aside. All of that was in play except for Sharyland, who was going to stay on this home court, the main court. Regardless of how they played out in day one. We'll fix this audio issue. And we'll be clear sailing soon. Big spike across, and that's good for the Lady Rattlers. Tristan Maddox able to put that away. 4-3 ball game. Lady Wildcats now on the return to serve. From the back row, back over on the Rattlers side. High set off the net. Over on the Weslaco East side, Lady Wildcats punch it over. Rattlers immediately on the attack with a high set across the net. Punched over. Wildcats set it up in the middle and secure the point. Sharyland Rattlers back on the return to serve. Set it up, Maddox tries to punch it across. And a 6-4 lead for the Weslaco East Lady Wildcats. Wildcats back to serve it up. At the line, Laisha Castillo. Played up by the Rattlers. Spiked across, played by the Wildcats, still on the back row. Ball stays alive. And that one carries out of bounds, and it's now a 7-4 game. This Rattler team, we saw them fall yesterday to PSJA. They responded by winning the next 2 rounds. But everyone taken by that PSJA team yesterday as the Lady Bears made some noise. Bears are in this gym. They'll be in our next broadcast on the other court here this morning. Wildcats return the serve. That's out of bounds. Point scored for Sharyland. Also in this court is, or in this gym today, well, excuse me on that. Came out of the blue. Also on this court today, Brownsville Veterans and Mercedes will eventually see each of those 2 teams in broadcast throughout the day. Tristan Maddox back to serve now for the Lady Rattlers. Maddox gets it across. Short serve picked up by Weslaco East on a high set on the right side. Tipped over. Maddox there to return it. High set on the left for the Rattlers. Put it down, put it away on a kill by Mariana Martinez. Martinez on the kill. Maddox back to serve. Maddox gets it over, down in the corner. That's an ace served up for Tristan Maddox. Lady Rattlers have now tied it up at 7 apiece here in game 1 of this best of 3. Maddox back to serve again. And that's an ace served up. It's now an 8-7 lead. Sharyland on top. Timeout call by Weslaco East. We're going to fix this audio once and for all after this. Right back after this.
Everyone's a winner at Kano Auto Sales 2 in Harlingen. Choose from a wide selection and score big today on West Expressway 83. Right now, check out this 2014 Hyundai Elantra GT. This car is loaded with a leather interior, satellite radio, Bluetooth, and it's yours today for 0 money down and $175 a month. That's right, no money down. Drive away today, just $175 a month. Or feel the power of this 2016 Dodge Challenger. This includes the RT Scat Pack, includes navigation, satellite radio, a reverse camera, an Alpine stereo system. Practically new with just 31,000 miles, powered by a 6.4-liter 392 Hemi engine. This today on the lot at $33,999. Financing is available with lending for all types. Every deal's a winner at Kano Auto Sales 2 in business since 2002. Harlingen, Texas.
Back here after the timeout, Weslaco East and Sharyland engaged here in this pool play. Game number 1 for each of these teams on day 2. Wildcats had an lead early. Sharyland now with a 2-point lead, and they are on an extended point on this rally here. Both teams keeping it in play right down the sideline. Played by the Wildcats. Ball back over on the Sharyland side. Rattlers set it up on a back set on the back of the row to Maddox. Hit across. Dug out that time by Adriana Gonzalez. Ball back on the Sharyland side. Here's Maddox again. In the net it goes. Point Weslaco East. And East just out-battled them there for that one on that long rally. Earlier today, Los Fresnos was able to win in their first game in pool play over on this court as they took down PSJA Southwest. Ball at the net, spiked across, played by the Lady Rattlers of Sharyland. Spike across on the angle, that's down and in for a point, and Sharyland goes up at 10-8. Lady Rattlers back to serve. Demina Chapa back to the service line. That one is good off the deflection. It's a 10-9 game. At the front row for Weslaco East is Aiceline Meza. Meza right there in the center of your screen. Meanwhile, back to the service line is Adriana Gonzalez. Played by the Sharyland Rattlers. A big swing, and It's covered on the back row. Good dig that time by Elisa Medina. Ball back over. Medina right there to pass it on a back row attempt. That's in the net and a point to Sharyland. Everything coming off the back row that time through. Medina and Gonzalez both back there active. Sharyland to serve. Roxana Garcia back at the line. Gets that across. Played by the Weslaco East Lady Wildcats, and that's going to be 2 hits called. And a point to Sharyland. I had some fans asking me already, hey, what about the PSJA games from yesterday? Well, their coach asked me, excuse me, at the end of the night last night, if we'd be kind enough to pull her game. She wasn't wanting her team scouted to get ready for day 2, so we obliged the coach's wishes and pulled the games off to prevent any scouting, at least from our video. I'm seeing fans all over the place here with phones on right now recording these games. So I can't do anything about that, but what I can do is make sure our games are pulled off. At least the coaches are allowing us to do them live, allowing fans to see them that may not be able to get out, especially on a Friday during the day, to see their teams. Tip across, played by the Lady Rattlers. Ball up high, one-handed over. Weslaco East on the attack. Set it up in the middle. There's a big swing, but that's out of bounds. Point scored. Sharyland goes up by 4 now. Back to serve is Mariana Martinez. Martinez to serve it up. Just gets it over. Played by the Weslaco East Lady Wildcats off the net. Ball back on the Sharyland side. A high set. Wildcats there to play that. One-handed over. Ball up into the rafters, and that's a point for Weslaco East. (14-11) game. Serve across, played by the Lady Rattlers. Ball up high, spiked across, played by Weslaco East. They will not keep it alive. And a point scored for Sharyland. (15-11) game. Back set this time. That's blocked back at you. Point for Sharyland. Timeout called on this one. Sharyland with the lead. We'll be right back after this.
TVNS specializes in provider services, respite care, and emergency response services. TVNS are pioneers in the home care industry, in service for over 37 years. 11 locations from Brownsville to Corpus Christi, from Harlingen to Laredo.
Today's game is sponsored by TVNS, the pioneers in serving our community with the highest quality in provider services.
Our professional advisors at Employee Retirement Service have been providing financial and retirement planning for many years for employees of different employment.
If you've spent your career in education and are ready for the next chapter, let the professionals at Employment Retirement Services help. You've worked hard, and now it's time to relax and enjoy with peace of mind and security.
Help fulfill your retirement needs. Come experience the difference with us.
And let's plan your retirement together.
Call us at 956-440-8774 to schedule your appointment today.
Back here to Rio Sports Live. Sharyland on the attack. Tristan Maddox puts that one down. Lady Rattlers go up by 7 here in this game. Back to serve for Sharyland is Andrea Espinoza. Espinoza ready, puts it across. Weslaco East setting it up on the back row. Punched over, played by the Rattlers of Sharyland. High set on that right side, just over the net. That's a point for the Rattlers. Getting the carry over the net. Sharyland able to now extend the lead to 8. Espinoza will serve. Knuckleballs that over. Good return this time by the Wildcats. Set it up, hit it off the block, score the point for the Wildcats on a kill by Brisa Guzman. Guzman got the kill. Next serve across for Weslaco East, just across. A play by Tristan Maddox to keep that alive. At the net is Marisa Jones now for Sharyland. Another big kill right down central, and that finds another point for Brisa Guzman and Weslaco East. If the first one was a highlight, the second one assuredly is on that kill. Serve over. Rattlers now set it up to Maddox. That's down the line and in for the point. Tristan Maddox on the kill. Back to serve as Camille Vargas gets that across. That's out of bounds. Point scored to Weslaco East. Lady Wildcats will substitute into the game as Alondra Perez will check in to serve, or check that back at the service line is Leisha Castillo. Castillo serves it up. Good pass that time by Andrea Espinoza. Sets up Tristan Maddox. Hit it over, ball back over across Sharyland. They'll block that at the net and score the point. Double block there. Coming up to the net for Weslaco East was Arlise Munoz. She really didn't have much of a chance on that. 7-point lead for the Rattlers. Hit across by the Wildcats. That will not carry through the net. And a point scored. Ball ricocheted up just under my computer right there from the other court. You're sitting up here, you better be watching. They're going to come from both angles. Ball over on the Wildcat side. A high set right side. Just off the block, score the point for Weslaco East. (22-15) game. Wildcats to serve it up. Just across, played by the Rattlers. Spiked down and in on a kill by Sharyland's Mariana Martinez. 23-15 now, Sharyland on top by 8. Back to serve, Zemina Chapa. Chapa has to wait for some fans to go by. Again, there's not much room back there for these servers. Gets that one across. East on the attack, off the net. In the net it goes, point Sharyland. Rattlers one away from securing game 1 here. Up 24-15. And the serve across. Deep serve, Wildcats can't return it. Ace, Sharyland wins game 1. 25-15, your final score. We'll be back with game 2 right after this.
At HCISD, we move the needle forward every day.
We'll blaze a trail for future generations.
It's not just about equipping students with skills for the future. We awaken their potential and empower them to make good choices.
No matter where you're from or where you're headed, there's a place for you to flourish at HCISD.
Fans, if you want to look your best at the next game, then let Chewy's Custom Sports go to work for you. From custom designs and graphics to mass production in-house. If it's hats, shirts, buttons, mugs, cups, banners, and more, then Chewy's is there for every team and every sport. A veteran-owned company in touch with the community. It's Chewy's Custom Sports in San Benito.
close.
We are this close
of wanting
to making history.
This close to changing the world.
We're this close.
This close to making sure no child suffers a crippling disease
ever again.
This close.
We are this close to ending polio.
Ending polio. All we need is you.
This close.
If we don't act now, we may lose this chance forever. Help Rotary make history at endpolionow.org.
Back here on Rio Sports Live as both teams are over there taking some conversation in between games 1 and 2 of this best of 3. Day 2 of this tournament continuing on. I want to remind you in San Benito, the next big event in the city of San Benito is the South Texas Music Festival, which will take place on September 21st at Bowie Street at Haven Memorial Park in San Benito, Texas. Lots of music, lots of fun. The South Texas Music Festival in the city of San Benito, September 21st. Sharyland won the first game, 25-15. His team got on a roll yesterday after losing in the first game of pool play. In a 2 out of 3 match, they went 3 games before falling to PSJA. Lady Bears ended up running the table yesterday in that pool. Weslaco East Wildcats will serve it up as we resume play. These two teams on this court, as is Los Fresnos and PSJA Southwest. Meanwhile, on the other court, Mercedes, Brownsville Veterans are on the court right now. We'll have PSJA Bears. They're on tap for a game later on. And Weslaco is also in this gym. First point belongs to Weslaco East. It's back to action, and that one goes into the net. 2-0 ball game. Weslaco East leading to start game 2. No serve just yet. Erlinda Amaya at the line. Serves it across. Rattlers with a high set off the net. Spiked off the block. Diving play. Weslaco East cannot keep it alive. Point Sharyland. That one came out of nowhere from that left side on the outside hit. Now some moisture on the floors. They'll attend to that. Our thanks again to Hacienda Ford for being one of our title sponsors here on Rio Sports Live. Hacienda Ford in Edinburgh, Texas, your home for new and used or service. Hacienda Ford just helping us out, help the community, help the presentation of this product. That ace is in there for the Rattlers of Sharyland. Hacienda Ford, Edinburgh, Texas. One of our title sponsors. You'll see more of them on our social media as we get this thing rolled out on what we're doing with them for our broadcast. Sharyland on the attack, looking for the lead. They had the lead for most of game 1. That one will not get it done as it sails over the back line. Even though they split the court, it is 2 full-size courts as far as the playing surface. What is not in play is there's little to no room back there for these servers, and that means your back row is also limited, and that at times a back row is a great save made there by someone saving their camera right in front of us. That ball was dead centered coming into her camera, and like a soccer goalie reached out and swatted that away. Camera's still in good shape. 4-2 ball game. Spiked by Maddox is in the net. And Weslaco East now up 5-2 here in game number 2. Serving is Danielle Castillo. Gets that over. And that's an ace served up for Weslaco East. And Sharyland, Lady Rattlers, have lost that magic they had going in game 1 where they rolled to the easy win. Wildcats serve again. Short serve. Rattlers with a better pass this time. Set it up on a back row attempt. Hit and out of bounds it goes. 5-point lead, Weslaco East. Back to serve Castillo again. Another point here, you'll probably see a timeout. They put that score on the wrong side as that serve comes over. We'll make it 6-4. We'll see if they adjust that. High set for the Wildcats, punched over. Rattlers set it up on the right side. Spiked over, looking for the back line. That's in. And a point scored for Sharyland, makes it 6-5. Rattlers now serve to tie. Back at the line is Andrea Espinoza. Espinoza gets it over. Played by the Wildcats. Blocked back at you by the Rattlers. Punch back over. Wildcats able to play all of that, but then finally as the ball ricochets off an arm up into the ceiling area, nobody able to return that one. Rattlers serving for the lead here in game 2. Diving play back there on the back row for the Wildcats. Keep that one into play. Big swing by Tristan Maddox. She's been kind of quiet, not now, puts that away. Maddox on the kill. Wildcats waiting for their serve. Comes across, Weslaco East on the return of serve, nothing doing, that's an ace. Sharyland goes up 8-6. Another serve for Andrea Espinoza. Gets it across on a knuckleball this time. Wildcats are playing it. Sharyland, good opportunity, knocking at the door. Center set, punched over, point scored. 9-6 on a kill by Marissa Jones. Jones on the finish. Another serve for the Lady Rattlers. Ball on a back set, spiked across. That's off the back row and out of bounds. Point Sharyland. 4-point lead, Lady Rattlers. Lady Wildcats had some momentum early in this game. Right now it's all on the side of the Rattlers of Sharyland. Punching it over this time, the Wildcats. Rattlers there to play that. In the net it goes. And a point scored makes it 10-7. Short serve this time at the net, punched over by the Wildcats. Challenge at the net, won this time by Weslaco East. Strong play at the net that time for Arlis Munoz. She had that kill attempt, but then she stuck her ground and defended the net well on that second hit. Ball back across, another point scored, 10-9 game. Ten to 9 your score. Both these teams fighting for the right to be in the gold bracket, which is tomorrow, right here in this gym. Point scored for the Lady Wildcats, and that makes it a 10-10 game. See San Benito walking through. I had some fans asking earlier, are you covering San Benito games today? Unfortunately, they're in the back gym here, so we won't have them on for you Lady Hound fans. Spike in the net by the Rattlers. Another point scored for Weslaco East. I want to remind you, football fans, we have football coverage coming your way. Our first game, live video coming your way Thursday night from Brownsville as Sharyland Rattlers take on the Pace Vikings. I'll be there with our System 1 game of the week on Rio Sports Live. That one's punched over. 2 hits called, though. And a point to Weslaco East. Timeout called by Sharyland. East competitive in game 2. Back after this.
Fishing fans, here's your chance to catch some fish and help out athletes at the same time. Mark the calendar now and plan on attending October 20th as the 3-up, 3-down San Perlita Booster Club Fishing Tournament looks to be the biggest and best yet. Located at Laguna Madre Baits in Port Mansfield, Texas, this tournament is set to provide 100% of the proceeds directly to the athletic programs. Artificial lures only with a blackjack format, no fish over 21 inches, $150 per team or boat, maximum 4 people, and the grand champion is a team closest to 63 inches with 1 red trout and 1 flounder. Food raffles, baked goods, a silent auction, and terrific prizes from some great sponsors. Registration is October 19th. The tournament is October 20th. See you there at the 3-up, 3-down fishing tournament in Port Mansfield, where catching fish is helping athletes in a big, big way.
Timeout called, and now breaking out of the huddle, the Weslaco East Lady Wildcats, who here in game 2 have ratcheted up another level. Now after timeout call, we'll see if they can maintain control of the lead, which is a narrow margin of 2, but nonetheless, after getting beat by 13 in game 1, right there in the mix here in game 2. That's going to be 2 hits called on the Wildcats. Points scored to Sharyland. Makes it a 12-11 game. Our next game will be on the other court, and it'll have PSJA taking on Mercedes. We'll be alternating back and forth on the courts. Serve over by the Rattlers. Wildcats there to play it with a high set. 2 hits called, though, before they can even get the set up. And now a couple in a row by Sharyland, and we're tied at 12. Back to serve for the Lady Rattlers. Cross played by the Wildcats. Spike to the back row. That is out of bounds. Point Sharyland. Another serve coming up. That one is off a Wildcat. Out of bounds. Another point for Sharyland. They go up 14-12. Another timeout call by the Wildcats. This pendulum swings back and forth. 2-point leads either way. Sharyland owns that right now. Back after this.
When in Port Mansfield, be sure to stop in Laguna Madre Baits, the home of Laguna Girl 1 and 2. They ensure that you have the best when it comes to your fishing needs. Locally caught bait, including live shrimp and croaker. Frozen baits caught locally, frozen shrimp, squid, mullet, and more. Dress the part with full outdoor apparel. Drinks, ice, snacks, groceries, and fishing supplies for any need. Access by road or by boat. Look for the blue building and the blue shrimp boats, Laguna Madre Baits. 828 Westport Drive, Port Mansfield, Texas.
Before you have time to worry, we'll get you taken care of fast and easy. Now you can get back to your day with a healthy smile.
Back here after a timeout. The point across scored by the Wildcats of Weslaco East. So earlier when it was 12-10 and Weslaco East was leading, Sharyland called a timeout, stretched 4 points together to take a 2-point lead. Now the Lady Wildcats, after time was called, will serve it up. Looking to tie it. Sharyland with a center set. That's going to be a lift called. And a point to Weslaco East, and we're tied back up at 14 apiece. Lady Wildcats back to serve. Short serve across, played by the Rattlers off the net. Wildcats set it up high from the center, played over on the Sharyland side, right back over, but point Weslaco East as they win the battle at the net. Extra celebration that time for Jalen Mata at the net. Short serve this time. Good pass by Tristan Maddox. Backs at her on the angle. One-handed back in play by the Wildcats. Rattlers right back at you. Back row. Played again by the defense of the Wildcats, but then over the net it goes. Point Sharyland. Ties the game at 15 apiece. Rattlers back to serve. Maddox puts it into play. Gonzalez back there as a libero. Rattlers attack from the back row of their side. Over on the Wildcat, up into the rafters, nothing doing. Point Sharyland. Just too many angles up there when you start getting into those beams on the support system on the ceiling. You can play it if you can read it. Wildcats set it up off the back row. Sharyland Rattlers with a high set this time. Tipped over, blockers, though it's covered nicely by Erlinda Amaya. Ball back on the Sharyland side. Tristan Maddox from the back row punches it over. Good chance here for the Wildcats. Middle, got it, point scored. Weslaco East, we're tied at 16. Wildcats sticking right with it. They'll need to win this in order to force game 3. That serve goes in the net. Sharyland will insert Zamina Chapa into serve. Chapa just off your screen there behind a referee. And now she comes into play, and here comes the ball. Wildcats with a high set in the middle. That's out of bounds, carries deep, and a point scored for Sharyland. They go up at 18-16. Next serve across for the Rattlers. That's an ace served up, 19-16, Sharyland on top, and now taking control here in game 2. Game 1 was all Sharyland. Game 2 has certainly been back and forth, but a 3-point lead is the biggest we've had in a while for either team. Both have enjoyed the lead here midway through this game. Wildcats will edge that over. Rattlers with a high set in the center, tipped over. Weslaco East will play that. A high set middle, spiked across, played nicely by the Rattlers. Ball up high off the net. Line drive, kill, point scored. Sharyland, they're up 4. Reading the angle there for the Rattlers. Produces the point. Ball gets away. They have to go back and retrieve that. Zamina Chapa goes back. She'll be serving for Sharyland. Just across, played by the Weslaco East Wildcats. Punched over. Rattlers there for Sharyland. Get it just across, redirected, but 4 hits called. And a point to Weslaco East. Our thanks again to the Sharyland School District for providing us an assistance here in being able to broadcast this game. Met with their IT crew earlier this week. Anxious to get things rolling for their football games. We'll be broadcasting from the stadium. They had a scrimmage here last night. Of course, the Rattlers will be on the road, but Pioneer will be in town on Friday night, and we'll be broadcasting that game for you fans on an audio-only version on Friday night. Thursday night will be video from Brownsville. 21-17 game. Next to us, there's a close one going on between Brownsville Veterans and Mercedes. It's a 20-17 game. Brownsville Veterans on top in that one. Here in this one, Weslaco East trying to stay close. Now down 3 as they'll serve. Rattlers with a high set. Ball punched at the net. Over it goes, out of bounds. Point to Weslaco East. That time a Rattler player got caught out of bounds when that ball was coming over by standing out there and putting a hand on that. That's a good kill, though, by the Rattlers, coming back in response by Mariana Martinez. Martinez from that outside hitter spot finishes her rotation across the front net, and now she'll be back at the service line. Short serve, Weslaco East on the return of serve. Back set that, played by the Rattlers. They'll get that back over. That was going out. Weslaco East will play that. Sharyland right back at you on the attack. Tipped over. Good dig that time by Aseline Meza. Ball back by the Rattlers. Back on the Weslaco East side. Wildcats swinging for the outside corner. Nothing doing. Point Sharyland. They go up 23-19. Rattlers to serve again. Mariana Martinez, a short serve. In the net it goes. Point Sharyland. They're now one away from wrapping this up. One more timeout. Weslaco East trying to draw a line in the sand. They played close. They're 1 point away from being swept here. Back after this.
Truck Techs in Harlingen is your source for lifts, wheels, and tires. Talking trucks of any size, any model, and any year. Specializing in accessories with top-of-the-line products to bring that special look to your truck in a professional way. Lifts, wheels, and tires, with financing available too. Call today or stop by Truck Techs in Harlingen.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for the prices? It's a Labor Day party.
The Hacienda Ford Labor Day sale is going on now. You can get a new F-150 starting at just $27,995 or 0% interest for 72 months.
We got the tailgates down and we're feeling all right. My Hacienda friends are saving money tonight.
Hacienda has it.
Point scored by the Sharyland Rattlers, and that wraps up play here as they sweep PSJA, or check that Weslaco East, in 2 games. Rattlers go to 1-0 in pool play. They match Los Fresnos, who's already on the court warming up. They didn't waste any time getting out there, getting ready for this next game, which will be Los Fresnos taking on Weslaco East. We're going to switch courts, and we'll bring you coverage of PSJA and it's either Brownsville Veterans or Mercedes. We'll check and see which team sticks around. I think it's going to be the Mercedes Tigers. Hope you enjoyed this one. Watch the replays a little bit later on. You can also watch highlights anytime you want. Until next time, from Sharyland High School, day 2 of our coverage continues from their tournament. So long for just a while.